Hello everyone, welcome to Tea and Banter with me. It's me, Mary Elizabeth. Today I am here to talk about Giana Darlin's, I'm calling it a series, even though it is broken up into two duets and another one that I think is 3 books, but I'm talking about those. How it started was I decided to read, first of all, I'm a huge fan of Giana Darlin's Fallen Men series. I absolutely love them. She's a fabulous writer. So I wanted to take a look at her backlist, and I came across on Amazon the Anti-Heroes in Love Duet. So it's kind of packaged into that. I think you can either buy or read the single books or whatever. So I just happened to grab this duet, and I loved it. This is about Elena and Dante. Dante is a capo in the mafia, and Elena comes from Italy. Her mother's Italian, her father is Irish. And they are poor, and the struggles of that, and it's not a good home life. The dad does some terrible things. So anyway, it's about their story, and it takes place in both America and Italy, which is kind of nice. A little different scenery or whatever. Anyway, the premise of this is Dante is accused of murder. Yes, he is mafia, but he actually didn't commit this murder. And Elena's sister, I think I'm going to call her Cosy, but I think it's Cosmia is her name, begs Elena to take the case because Elena's a lawyer to help Dante beat this case because he actually didn't do this murder. And so it's about their love story, and you get to hear a little bit of their backgrounds growing up and all of that. But so Elena has a twin, a sister and a brother who are twins, and another sister, Giselle. And in this book, Elena was in a previous relationship with Sinclair, who they end up not making it, and it's because of the sister Giselle. Apparently they become an item, or there was cheating or something, and so she does not speak to Giselle, and so you feel really bad for Elena. She's been through a lot, and she's a tough cookie and has come through a lot of struggles, and I really enjoyed her. Dante is perfection. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about him later on. So I'm not going to go into in-depth of this book because I did talk about it in a previous video, but it was a very good book. I really enjoyed it, which made me then find out that I actually started in the wrong order. And really, Elena and Dante's book is, well, technically was the last book, but Giana has just come out to say she's going to be writing Sebastian's book, which is one of the twin siblings, and he is the last sibling. So technically that will be the last in the series, but as of right now, Elena and Dante is the last in the series. So that's where I started, of course. So throughout this book, I don't really have a big opinion of Cosmia or Sebastian. I think that they're low-key. Some things happen to Cosmia, but it's not in-depth enough to really get a sense, and Elena does love Cosy very much. However, in this book, I just felt so bad for Elena, and I love Dante. He tried to make things better. He put her first. He tried to rectify situations. He tried to take experiences that were bad in areas and go back and plug in better experiences in there, and he's just wonderful. He can be badass, but he's wonderful. He's perfect. So anyway, in this book, I hated Giselle and I hated Sinclair. I just don't understand how this happened. I don't know what why they would do this to her. So then I saw an interview with Giana, which I talked about in a previous video, that actually she was afraid to write Elena's book because everyone did not like Elena, and I just couldn't understand that. So I went back to the beginning. In the first, it's like a 3-book series. I don't know what the name of individual books, but them all together is The Evolution of Sin, and that is Giselle and Sinclair's story. And Giselle is Elena's sister, and Sinclair was technically Elena's boyfriend. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna go here because I don't understand why people are hating Elena. So let me preface by saying that the siblings, so I don't want to go into too much spoiler alert, but they come from very, very poor family, and one of the siblings does everything they can to get them out. Elena is very book smart, wants to be a lawyer, so this sibling gets her into college. She's able to go to school. Giselle is very bohemian and artistic, and so she's able to go to college in France to become an artist. So they're not really in the same vicinity as they're growing up, and Elena's always not been the biggest fan of Giselle's, or vice versa. More so Elena's not thrilled with Giselle for whatever reason, I don't know. So I forget what happens, but Giselle ends up going, a friend of Giselle's cannot make it to Mexico for a work reason or whatever, and she tells Giselle to go and take her place and enjoy a little vacation, whatever, get away. While she's there, she meets this man, and he's a businessman, and they start talking, it ends up being, let's be together while we're here, so sort of like a fling or whatever, and she's never done anything like that, and they decide that that's what they're going to do, but feelings, of course, start to emerge, and they decide they're not going to share personal information. So instead of saying her name's Giselle, she says it's Ellie, or Ellie, I think it is, and he's Sinclair. He does say Sinclair. And so that happens, and Giselle starts to have feelings or whatever. So the last day, she up and leaves before he even wakes up, and they know, and this is the short synopsis, it's so much better, but I don't want to give those happy spoilers away of the budding relationship. But so she goes back, and she is at her mother's house with Elena and Cosmea and Sebastian and a couple of other people. And Elena says she's expecting her boyfriend, and in walks Sinclair, and that's where it begins. And they decide that they're not going there, that they're keeping the distance for Elena's sake or whatever, and they do try, but it's clear that they're meant for each other. But in the interim of them trying to do the right thing, whatever, Elena's, I think, very mean to Giselle, and she's insulting, she's sarcastic, and yes, what Giselle did was wrong, but she didn't know it was wrong at the time. And so she does try to stop it, and yet Elena is still mean without even knowing that there was an issue to begin with. So the end result is, naturally, everything blows up, and Elena is just so hurt, and she doesn't want to speak to them. She lashes out, she attacks Giselle, different things like that. She sets about exposing things and trying to get Sinclair in trouble and things like that. It just skyrockets. And you can sympathize with her hurt that they started up again, that he ended up ending it with her, whatever. But it made me change my view, even though I read the last book first, that she's a very cold and mean person, I felt. And so I'm stuck in between with her even now after I've read all of them, because truthfully, now my opinion is that really Giselle should be with Sinclair and Dante. What do you all think about that? Because Sinclair, Dante, Giselle, love her. Elena, not so much. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Even now, even looking back at her last book, I'm still not feeling it. So, I don't know. But those books were great. I love them. Now we go into the Enslaved Duet. And this book is about Cosmea. Oh, excuse me. Cosmea is one of the twins. And she is gorgeous model material. And of course, she's looked upon for her looks. So what this one is about is, so her father, he gets into trouble all the time. He gets into a debt. The mafia comes all the time and beats him up or does things to him. And so the final straw is that he this time crosses, I guess, too many lines and he has to pay big time. So he then basically sells his daughter, and the mafia sells her to get back the money that the father owes. So this is about her journey through that and how she is able to work that around to be able to take care of her family. She starts thinking, well, if I'm stuck in this position, how can I better for my family? And so it's about that. It's about her survival. It's about her coming around. And on the other side of that is Alexander, who is the one who purchased her. And he has grown up in a family that's kind of crazy in terms of that kind of stuff. So I don't want to go into detail with that. That was a very hard book two books to get through. But through that all, she still maintained a loving, caring heart for people and great survival skills. And she's someone to admire. But those two books were just so hard to get through. Those are really difficult. So those are clear trigger warnings, and I would check those before you read them. But overall, a great series. Some might say in the anti-heroes, the going to Italy thing wasn't that great. It really didn't play much to the plot. I disagree. I think that it changed the atmosphere a little bit. It calmed it down a little bit, as well as it showed Dante's loving side and trying to make different memories for Elena in her home country that Elena clearly hates now. So I think there's a reason for different things. But my favorite is The Evolution of Sin, because I love Giselle and Sinclair. However, I want to take Dante out of the anti-heroes and put him in The Evolution of Sin with Sinclair and Giselle. That's just my take. That's what I'm going with it. But I highly recommend you give this, I'm calling it a series, a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Again, check for triggers. But so I give this overall a 4 stars. Yeah, and I would reread it. So until next time, I hope that you are all safe and I hope you're all loved. Bye.